IVM.
Alright, Simplified is where they take stories that you can't understand and make it even more difficult to understand. If you need that in your life, it's called marriage. Simplified, 3 young men with a mission. Their names, Chuck, Naren and Sriket. That's right, simplify their names first. Simplify. New episodes out on the IVM podcast website, app or wherever you get your podcast from. Alright, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Okay, a special edition of Cock and Bull. Again, I say special, but every edition of Cock and Bull is supposed to be special, but isn't. We have Amit, we have Jaanam returning after 25 years in the Outbacks, and we have Swati, who I think is a little sexist, as you'll find out. Cock and Bull.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Alright, special edition of Cock and Bull, but before that, I have some good news. I'm going to share this with you because I'm an unselfish man and I don't believe in just making money for no reason. I could, but I'm not going to do that. I think this is a more social issue and I want to just give it to my people and countrymen. I see everybody suffering in Mumbai during the monsoons when they're walking, from the train to the office or across the road or wherever with family in tow and all that. And they always struggle with their eyes, to keep the water off their eyes. So here's my gift. Sunglasses or Speedo goggles. Get yourself a pair. Put them on and go to work. And believe me, I've been trying it for the last few days. It's fantastic. You can see everything. If you wear proper goggles, you can see everything. You never touch your face area. You can hold your 2 kids and cross the road. And it can be pouring and pelting and it won't affect you at all. It's my gift. Cyrus Says, Cock and Bull.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Okay, Cock and Bull, so excited. We've got young blood here today. Amit, thanks for coming.
I know.
And also Jaanam, who's not very old, after many months. I don't remember you being on the show for some time.
Yeah.
You were sick, you had a cold and cough, and now you carry...
I still do.
And you wear a jacket in the heat and walk around.
It's so cold. It's because of
Your AC.
One man's meat is another man's
Your
poison.
AC, Cyrus.
That's why India doesn't need development. You people don't have any respect for AC and technology.
No, we don't.
So you sit there outside and enjoy the climb, whatever it is. The heat. Swati, say hello.
Hello.
Oh my God, so much aggression in the room. Wonder why. But it's Cock and Bull and we are here to serve the people. Which people we haven't decided. That we'll decide by just...
You are here to slaughter us. You don't.
What nonsense. Really? It's become that kind of show? We just pick on each other? Isn't that a television show with the newscaster
No, it's
glasses?
not picking up. It's simple slaughtering.
Is it? I think Amit is the one with all the prejudices. Not
Really?
me. I don't even pay attention.
Okay, yeah, neither do I.
My entire life has been like that. My biopic is going to be didn't pay attention. 600 teacher was correct. All right, what do we have?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start on a sad note, unfortunately, because of the Kerala floods. A very sad story that me and Jaanam have been discussing about a 19-year-old boy who committed suicide because he lost his school certificates as they got destroyed in Kerala rains.
Okay.
It was a very sad story that we read because there is, a flood of this fake news also coming from Kerala along with all these stories. But when we read this story, apart from all the damage, whatever is being done, I don't know why.
Well, to balance it out, at least, what can we say? People get affected. People, certain things get to you. You don't know what triggers anything in a person's life. A person's, like Amit is normal. But then, if you just pull at his forearm hair, he cries with pain and gets fever. But you can't say for sure what triggers off. For you, it might sound trivial, but to someone else, it's just the biggest thing in the world, as in this case.
Yes,
but to balance it out, I have a nice story. Can I share that with you?
Please do,
Yes.
because
Please
I don't know
take a
how to
look at
talk about this story without being rude and cruel.
No, we can't. Look, death is death. As Jim Morrison says, death makes angels of us all.
And another aspect of this story that certificates are so important in our lives, like 19-year-old committing suicide just because you lost a certificate.
There is a point there. I've been telling kids, including my own, don't take it all so seriously. But nobody believes you because, every day they go back to schools and it's drilled in. Look at Jaanam. She's still nervous about 10th standard. She passed 4 years ago.
No, in fact, I actually, when I read this, I wanted to go to the boy and tell him. I wish I could go to him and tell him that, hey, I don't even know where my 12 certificates are.
It's all perspective.
It doesn't matter.
In the course of your entire life, that silly certificate, that silly 10th standard few moments, it shouldn't bring you down,
Yeah.
I mean, Shah Rukh Khan probably didn't get 92%, he got 88%, but, it got nothing to do with the rest of his life, because we all aren't Shah Rukh Khan, so now I'm feeling depressed.
Yeah.
But my story. So I have a nice story, which you must see. It's out on YouTube. It's a beautiful story about a guy in the middle of the floods who's trying to save 3 of his friends. So he jumps over a barricade, and he's trying to pull them, and then he lets them go, and he pulls up a packet of stuff. So there's something very valuable in that packet. He leaves the friends behind, but he brings the packet out. And you know what was in the packet? Bottles of booze. It's beautiful. I mean, in all this, what a poignant story to hear. I mean, beautiful. I mean, he let the friends go, but he got the
Really has
bottles
his
back.
priorities straight.
Yeah, there you go. Straight
That's
up.
a beautiful story.
No hypocrisy in that man. And we know where he's heading. All right.
To the bar.
Where?
Speaking of heading, the floods are predicted to
One
head
second.
towards...
I want to clap for the segue. Beautiful. Speaking of heading.
I know. It's all professional.
Then Cristiano Ronaldo comes to mind.
So the floods are apparently heading towards Goa also.
Yeah, so this has been predicted by Madhav Gadgil, if you've come across his name. He was the one who headed the study on Western Ghats, and he says that now Goa is the next after Kerala.
As in this kind of disaster or just bad
yes,
rains?
This kind of disaster.
Are you kidding me?
One
I
second,
just
on
couldn't-
what basis is he making this determination?
He couldn't get a booking at Aguada and got angry and,
He was actually heading this panel which did this study on the Western Ghats, and all his predictions are based on those
So they're blaming what?
documents.
Deforestation and all this?
Okay.
Yes, and illegal mining, and the things that
It's the
we
same
need
thing,
to
digging
do.
up the land basically and killing all the natural barricades. I know
Yes,
my geography.
national
I want to show
barricades,
off.
and Goa does not have that kind of the hide of Western Ghats that Kerala
No,
has.
they have FC Dempo and, the football club is struggling.
There's a difference between saying that some place has the possibilities for a natural disaster to occur and saying that that's the next place that a natural disaster is
Of
going to
this
occur.
magnitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of the kind of deforestation and industrialization has
Right.
happened.
So
in
his
these
point is that we've
states.
urbanized so badly. Let me put this in a nutshell
Yes,
because I'm always
yeah.
in a hurry. And that is urbanization in India is out of control. I've been screaming from the ramparts, which I don't have.
Yeah.
That, we've got to stop it. Look
Ah,
at
good
everywhere we
God,
go.
No, what? No. What stop urbanization?
Amit.
So
Everywhere I
yeah,
go, it's
basically-
Loda, Hiranandani. I got nothing else
we
left in my
need
city.
20 more Lodas and 20 more Hiranandani.
At least have one Pereira, yaar. I mean, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, what is
And
wrong
that's
with you
what he's
people?
saying that-
You're all sitting in big cities saying that urbanization sucks. And seriously, I mean,
Like any other system, like alcoholism, everything after a point becomes corrupted. You've corrupted the system because look at Kerala. There's no doubt they've over-urbanized in certain areas and they will pay. We
And
are
that's
sort of
what
paying
he's
for that.
saying.
it's
that,
not about urbanization. It's about responsible
The dams,
urbanization to an
the
extent.
dams couldn't
Compromises that
control
have
the
been
amount of
made.
water that was there.
And the ability to deal with these kind of disasters
Well,
have been
Swati,
compromised.
please,
So
my friend here is being excluded from the chat. What's your name? All right. In a nutshell, Goa, according to Mr. Gadgil, is the next disaster waiting to happen, but in immediate time or after some time?
no, after some time, definitely he
so-
cannot
so-
predict that the year
Before
or the time.
2019, so we blame which government? 2019 or after?
That I can't tell
You
because
have to
it's
tell,
not
right?
there. Because
As a
he's not
politician, we need to
predicting-
know where
he
we
can't.
stand.
Well, I mean, if this flood happens in 2020, then we'll blame the 2020 government. If it happens in 2018, we'll blame the 2018
And you think it'll be a
government.
different government, Amit? Now that you want to segue to something else?
Well, I don't know.
We'll come to that.
I do not know.
All right. But please, anybody listening to our show, please write in because geography is not a subject we're all very good with.
Exactly.
So if
What
you have some
Cyrus
knowledge
says
that
at
we don't...
gmail.com, that's the email address.
There
And
you
just
go.
questions.
And if you have some knowledge of things that we don't know, because I think it's sort of hyperbole again with this, in the sense that the moment you have disasters in any part of the world, not just India, it's just human nature, you start pushing for more. It's almost like, hey, hello, coming up next.
Yeah.
It's not a sequel to Jaws 1, man.
That's what I'm saying. These things don't happen that often, and they're not
Paranoia of the psychosis of paranoia that you're pushing.
No, the psychosis paranoia, but I mean, more importantly, to what Swati was saying, right? It isn't 1 + 1 is equal to 2 over
Yeah.
here. It's 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. Like there are 75 factors that
having
get
said
together.
that-
to
It
get
is
to
going to affect. It is going
There's
to
an effect.
affect your
Everything has an
environment.
effect.
If there is a god or there's a weather god or there's a god minister who's in charge of weather, but he's not exactly going to be looking at you as Kerala and Goa, right?
Right.
He's just going to look at landmass A and B, which are almost linked to one another, and then so it is a possibility that it goes from here to there.
But I think we
by
can
your
cut
silence.
down on some
Jaanam
of the
is speaking. One
factors.
second, I have to play music now.
Yeah.
What do you want to say, Jaanam?
I'm saying that, like Amit said, there's
We're
1
running out of
+
time,
1
Jaanam.
+
Thank you
1.
so much, but that was great. Next stop. I'm kidding.
can
I'm
cut
kidding.
down on
That's
some
what
of the
I was
factors.
saying. That we are not
Yeah, no,
here
you
to-
have to. You have to
Yeah.
look at trying to make it as you see. You want to do things as responsibly as possible, right? But there is this tendency to kind of just say that everything is a result.
My point here, quickly, sorry to interrupt, and I want the ladies to back me up or not, which is, do you blame urbanization, yes or no? to some extent.
Yes.
To some extent, yeah.
But unmindful urbanization.
Do you
I
feel
would
that
say.
we are city-fied too much? Pune has become too much like Mumbai. Chandigarh has become too much like Delhi.
Let's not go into the cities.
I
Last
disagree
episode
with
was
this so much. It's not even funny, man.
That's what I want you to disagree.
I really do. I disagree with this idea.
I'm going to take a 10-minute break
that,
here while you
that
talk.
urbanization is a problem. I think is just completely fallacious. I mean, like that.
What?
Yeah,
Fallacious.
fallacious.
Oh,
Fallacious.
by a syllable. Oopsie.
I think that's just a bad way to present the issue.
So the media, as usual, is completely wrong. Everybody is reporting stuff. Everybody
No.
mentions
Listen.
exactly the 2 points she's made is in every newspaper in every language in India.
Right.
About the mining, irregular mining, and legal mining. Both.
Right.
It's not like it makes a difference in the end. And deforestation.
Okay, so these are issues. I'm not saying that they're not issues, right? But I am saying that at the same time, to say that we want to put a break on urbanization, right? Urbanization leads to wealth
I
of
didn't say
people.
break. I'm saying just sort of balance it out a little bit. You just
But
keep destroying
balance means
everything.
what? When you
My
say-
poor leopards have nowhere to go, so that's why they're in a house in Matunga now.
But when you say balance, that means that by definition you're saying constraint.
You've got to figure out a balance, or the world will end. You can't just have urbanization.
But
it's like alcoholism is the
what you
perfect
need
example.
Is,
It
what
just
you
goes
need is you need a lot more cities. You need cities which are more spread out. You need cities which are
so they can crumble and we have more cities to talk
so
about.
that they're more basically that every city has its own kind of space. You need or even every neighborhood has its own kind of space.
All the natural barriers that could have helped at least slow down so that you have a chance to pull people away.
Right.
And, all those little natural barriers that were there, we removed them.
But I
so
mean,
then you're
I
telling the rain,
understand-
if you're angry, go ahead. We have no chance in hell.
But I
Save the
understand
booze.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like that is way too much of a simplification. It's the easy answer.
I think he's insulting me. Janam, stand up and take out a chappal. There's only so much. Your uncle Cyrus is being bullied and abused by the proprietor, and you're not even saying anything. Where's your Punjabi blood now? Huh? It's not available.
There's barely any Punjabi blood in there.
What hell blood is it now? Is it Cyan Koliwada blood? All right, let's move on.
Yes,
We're
let's-
making light of a subject, but obviously there's not much we can do at the moment, so let's move on to something else.
So, like you, Cyrus, Punjab's Chief Minister Amrinder Singh is also angry. But
Because
he's
of the
angry
hug.
with, he's
See, now I'm
angry
going to
with
ask you,
Sidhu.
Swati, I'm going to ask you a very important question.
Yes, please.
Having gone there, all right, he's in a room filled with a who's who of Pakistan. The military might, the celebrities, the leading businessmen, industrialists, the movers and shakers, and the political top staff.
Top staff, yeah.
So, what is he supposed to do if the general hugs him? Is he supposed to say, I'm Indian,
Repel.
that's not allowed, yaar, we cannot do this.
Stop.
Yeah, so my point is, why we make a big deal out of it? He's there. And once he's gone there, he's endorsed Imran Khan's prime ministership, and he has to be a good guest.
I think Mr. Amrinder Singh could not stop him from going because Sidhu went in his own capacity, like a personal capacity. He was
It
not
is a personal
representing.
capacity.
Yeah. So,
As a cricketer.
So Mr. Amrinder Singh wanted to say something, so he was like, what should I say? What should I say? And then
Initially it sounded, if you put it out of context, everything sounds ridiculous when it's out of context. Why are you hugging an army chief who's responsible, for telling his people to start shooting at our people? So in that sense, yeah. But he's there. What do you want him to do? That's my point. Once he's there, he's
I
there.
think
The government should have stopped him going. If they had a
That's a
problem,
whole
stop
different-
him going.
Yeah.
Say,
Yeah.
we have no diplomatic ties with Pakistan. Imran Khan may have been a great cricketer. I don't want you to go there.
but then being
But then
a
how do you-
citizen
So then why
of
did
this
Modi-
country
why did
who has
Modi-
the right to decide where am I going to go and what is my next trip going to be.
But that is a
you
whole-
cannot stop him to
Well, I mean, there needs to be a state of declared war between India and Pakistan for you to be able to say that
See,
we don't have a ban of
our
travel.
politicians
It's
should be clear.
extremely
You don't want to play
restricted.
cricket, you don't want to play hockey, but you'll play volleyball. So I don't understand that. Okay, what's going on? Secondly,
Yeah.
if you're going to hug Nawaz Sharif at a summit a couple of years earlier, then it comes to the same thing as him hugging. What is the difference? So either we're trying to have some diplomacy or we're not. And if we're not, then that's fine. Then say, okay, we just can't get along. They've killed too many of our people. We're killing too many of theirs. It's too much hypocrisy. Let's not get along.
I agree.
That's right.
The choices need to be made earlier. They can be made if you're at an event and you're with somebody. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
exactly.
you're not going to tell him, please.
And
you're
by the way,
Pakistani,
from a
don't hug me.
practical point of view, this is the most powerful man in Pakistan in actuality, the army
Yeah.
general. Is that the guy you want to pick a fight with? When you're one Indian amongst 200 billion Pakistanis in a room far away from Wagah border, what are you going to do? Tell a joke from a great Indian comedy show? Call Kapil Sharma for help? What? He had no choice. He had to
no
hug.
choice.
Uh,
I
Okay.
would agree with that.
Yeah.
I also
The
agree
first
with
time you
that.
hug
Kind of,
the first
yeah.
time you hug your in-laws, it's the same experience. You can't escape. You just got to do it. Of course, they might be worse looking than Mr. Bajwa, but we don't know about that. Well, Mr.
Okay,
Bajwa apparently
so-
was a fine-looking man when he was young, but I shouldn't say that. I don't want trouble from either side.
Sure.
Yeah. And why should we look at it from that perspective? It's not aesthetics. It's much more than that.
So, Cyrus, were you invited to Priyanka Chopra's engagement?
I wasn't invited to Mukesh Chopra was my neighbor. And he's one ugly guy, I can tell you. In the Chopra list, he's the least good-looking ever. Priyanka is getting married. I didn't even know that.
Nick Jonas.
You didn't know that.
The singer, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't believe it. The kid's finished, in a sense. Because they'll both try to lullaby her or him.
You are going to be trouble after saying this. Kid.
No. They don't have a kid?
Oh.
In America, you don't get married after you have a kid.
You're calling Nick a kid.
Oh, that.
Just
that
because he's getting married to Priyanka.
Nicely put. He is younger.
Wait, I just realized after you said singer, I realized even Priyanka had some dabbled in
course she
singing.
did.
Yeah, she did.
That was my joke.
Do you think they'll collaborate?
It's pointless. My references as usual. Vivian Richards, Vinod Khanna and all. It doesn't work anymore. So I'll just go back to my time. Where's the carom board? Let's go play some sports. Yeah, so let's stay with this for a second. Amit, you're a huge Bollywood, Hollywood fan.
Yes, I am.
Is it Hollywood? What do we call Jonas? Firstly, I hate that. Why can't it be Jones? Why does it be
Because
Jonas?
he's one of the Jonas brothers.
I know, but
Yeah.
it's
It's a different name.
You want to
It's an
change
A
his
and an
name?
E,
She's
right?
marrying like a Punjabi girl, so when they say it back in the village, it'll be like Jonas.
Jonas.
Because you swallow the first syllables. Oh, she's marrying
Probably
like
he would
Jonas.
become Nick Chopra.
Or something like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. He already is. Her career is doing better than his, from what I gather. He's now one of those, like the Supremes in the background of Elvis.
No, he's like his group
more
broke
writer.
up, right? Jonas Brothers broke up, right?
They broke up.
So he's on his own now.
He's now the Jonas brother. You know, lonely guy wandering around, meets Priyanka, boom. They get married. Next thing you know, Quantico 3. Oh, God help us.
Yeah,
What do you
Quantico's
feel?
done, right? I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
there's
called off.
Yeah, thank
Well,
God.
the FBI sent a proposal, but then Comey got fired. He was very clear with Trump. Can we get this off the air? This is one thing they sort of agreed on.
I don't give a shit. I mean, I just can't bring myself to care. I mean, like...
So where are the right-wingers now? She's marrying a non-desi. What the hell? Our pride and joy, our beautiful
think there
brown-skinned
was there
girl
not-
is marrying a Gora. In America, no one is saying anything about this. Where are the right-wingers when we need
I
them?
don't know.
Come on.
I don't
She should
know.
be fined. GST at least should be added. I mean, what the hell's going on?
What?
Don't you think it's an issue? It's an issue.
I have trouble figuring out why this is... I don't know, man. I'm just the wrong person to talk about this kind of stuff because it
Here's
just
my question. Do they have the
escapes me.
great Punjabi wedding, which is 15 days, or they have the great American wedding, which is 12 minutes? What do they go for?
Punjabi wedding.
And how long does it
We
last?
like
Does
it.
it at least last for 15 days, the wedding? I mean, the marriage.
How are we going to report if it's a 12-minute
Exactly. 12
American
minutes
wedding?
is American wedding, 1 day story over. 15-day
Yeah.
Punjabi wedding, 15-day
we
news
need
cycle.
15 days.
Oh, have you guys seen this Nick Jonas? Is he a good-looking guy? I mean, I have no idea.
He's all right.
But do you think
don't know.
Priyanka Chopra could have done better, or this is a good
I think his
decision?
brother looks better.
You're disgusting. You should work for Ekta Kapoor and make a nice serial out of all this.
But yeah, interestingly, his
Have you read
brothers
D.H.
engaged
Lawrence's
to...
Sons and Lovers? Huh,
What?
Go on. Nothing. Another reference is waste of my time.
Yeah, I won't get it. But I'm saying his brother...
I won't get
It's
it.
like suicide. She's just,
not getting
I'm not interested. Old man.
his
Oh, I've just got a picture of Nick Jonas sent by our producer Abbas, who's supposed to be a comedian, but likes to look at young men in suits.
Supposed to be?
Oh, he looks a lot like the... Oh, my God. He looks like that Indian actor. What's his name? Ritesh Deshmukh.
No way.
He looks like Kunal Khemu a little bit.
No.
Let's go around the room.
Like anyone.
Amit, who does he look like?
He looks like
looks
a
like a
8th
dude.
grader.
Amit has no idea. Swati?
He's cute.
He's
Okay, now
you
look up
sexist
Joe
woman.
Jonas.
If I said she's cute, then you jump on my throat. How dare you say cute? Take it back. Say he looks so mature or something. Just say.
No, he just can't look mature. At this point, he can't.
Because he married Priyanka. Is that a statement?
He's
were
11
going to
years
say
younger
something.
than us.
He's 11 years younger than her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My God. Apna Sanskriti or paramparon mein, I mean, this is not right.
So I think that's what there was a certain amount of this around, right?
Yes.
There was a certain amount of Twitter noise
Yeah.
around the fact that she's older than him.
She's older than him.
But then they also falsify their ages in Bollywood, so we don't know for sure.
Well, I mean, if anything, they falsify it more,
Yeah,
right?
so she's much older than him.
Yeah, so...
Wow.
Good point.
Would you
I
make such kind of a joke about a man if,
Absolutely.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not the sexist one. I never said he's cute. You made the cute comment. You're the one in trouble.
Calling someone cute is not as
No,
sexist.
but-
That's
as-
sexist. It can't have worked both ways.
Well, we know that people lie about ages, male or female, when they're actors. This is not really a...
But this is a general perception that women lie about their ages.
No, but we're talking about actors specifically here, and men and women both lie about their ages.
Yeah, in my 34 years,
But
I've never
generally,
heard...
we don't
of-
believe
I
that
know.
men lie about their age. It's only about women.
Listen, I lie about everything. What do you think? I make love with the lights off? Come on. Something I lie about the woman being there. You have no idea. Lying is part of life. Moving on. Segue into... Let's head into... Let's tail into...
Let's tail into a textbook which portrayed Farhan Akhtar as Milka Singh.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to be honest, it's not a textbook. I've researched the whole thing. It's one private publication because Derek O'Brien went on Twitter immediately to explain, and who's come out with something on Milka Singh, and they made the mistake of putting, but only in India. It's beautiful, I think. It's just fantastic. Iconic athlete. The one thing he wanted was respect and recognition, and Farhan Akhtar's picture.
And did you see Derek O'Brien's response? He says that the book was neither a part of government school curriculum, nor was it published by the state. So he says we can't do anything about it.
No, they can't. It's a private publisher.
Yeah,
they can ask them why they've done it, but it's not their. You can't blame the government for everything.
Again, I mean, like, a little kind of patience towards these people as who are making the book as well, right? Don't know who Milka Singh is.
You're so sympathetic.
Did a Google image search, found this image of Milka Singh, put it in there.
Without realizing he's giving you
the logic behind it, not that it's the right thing to do. Please let's understand. Not a judgment call. Yeah, why did it happen? That's why it happened.
Yeah.
And how did it happen? That's how it happened.
But Amit is so sympathetic about all these things, no?
Why?
Oh, poor man, he made a mistake. It's a big mistake.
No, it is a big mistake. You're not allowed to make mistakes like this. But I mean, like, you have to see why a mistake was made also, right? And, I mean, like, listen, how many 22-year-old sub-editors in a publishing house know what
Jaanam,
Milka Singh
listen to this, Jaanam. Huh?
No, Milka Singh,
Pay attention,
right?
Jaanam.
Milka Singh he's been around for a long time. He's how many real pictures of him could you have
Milka
seen?
Singh was already old when we were growing up.
Exactly.
In a sense. So we had to check it out properly to remember exactly who he is and all that.
But I mean, in times when we have Google and stuff, if you're not sure about something, just look it up.
But
Google,
that's what he did. He looked up Milka Singh and he saw Farhan Akhtar.
No, look, what he's saying makes perfect sense to me. The guy he actually Googled, I'm sure he Googled, and you immediately have a whole, because the picture, brought him back to life in a sense, and you got all these images there. And then if you don't read between the lines and read correctly, you just presume that, okay, this is the nicest picture, face is most clear, whatever, let's show this picture.
I'm not making excuses for the guy, right? I'm not making excuses for the guy, but I'm just saying that this is the reason why it happened, right? And it does not impart any necessary kind of... it's not as if
it's not as bad as you see a picture of a fan and it says PT Usha, but it's actually Usha fan. People can go berserk with this kind of story. We'll take a break and we'll come back. Jaanam has lost interest in this entire show and doesn't want to come back and talk ever again. Huh? Do you know who PT Usha is?
Yeah.
Who was PT Usha?
She was the runner.
The runner. Yes, Milka Singh ek runner tha. That's it. Chalo, we live with it, India. We fight for this young India. When we go to war, we're fighting for these young people. I don't even know why we bother. Just go to England. Madam Two Swords. We'll have a break, come back.
Hello, I'm Chuck.
I'm Shrikit.
And I'm Naren.
And together we are the hosts of the podcast
Simplified.
And we are going to be doing a 100th episode. Which is going to be a live episode at Doolali in Khar in Mumbai on the 25th of August 2018.
Yes, we should get the year right.
We're going to be doing a lot of fun things at the show. We are going to be talking about some stuff, simplifying them. We're going to have a very erudite guest who's going to hopefully make up for our silliness, but we sincerely doubt it.
And there's definitely going to be a lot of beer, so we really hope you join us.
It'll be fun, and it'll be more fun if you guys are there. So do line up.
See you. Bye-bye.
Welcome back, and we've got a huge controversy. Now, this is just, guys, this is now blood is going to be spilled on the show.
This is the biggest thing ever. I don't think we've ever spoken about something so important.
I want a disclaimer because in case she hits me and gets violent, I want to say, because Swati has obviously got a temper, and we had four mugs over the fridge. We have only two now, because you do get upset.
Hey,
now
you're saying that she throws cups at you, man. That's sexist.
But she throws cups at me.
You are in trouble again.
She throws cups at me with black coffee. So it's racist as well.
Okay.
Now, I just want to point out, Madam Tussauds, you said off air that Madam Tussauds Delhi sucks.
Off air, by the way.
Okay, Delhi, Madam Tussauds sucks, yes or no?
Yes.
How can you say that when it's the exact same people doing the same thing? It's just a geography change. So what you're saying is the moment they enter our country, it's terrible. The government doesn't like you.
I'm in trouble, truly. Clearly.
Can you defend yourself?
Yes, I can.
So what are you saying?
But once you've gone there and seen those statues,
what's the difference?
They don't look nice.
Is it lighting and stuff like that?
Yeah, maybe it's the way they've been curated.
The presentation?
Yeah.
Is it relativity because lots of Indians?
Now you're heading somewhere else.
So
I'm not going there.
We're trying to look for reasons.
No, I'm not.
Jaanam is so stunned she hasn't spoken since yesterday. Jaanam, samjha karo.
I'm speechless.
No, but isn't...
Swati, you made the comment. Don't giggle now. You tell the truth. Be honest and open here.
Why
you
do you
said
think?
Delhi sucks. Madam Tussauds, Delhi sucks. Why?
She said
Because
Delhi
it doesn't
sucks?
look that nice or beautiful or maybe that exaggerated the
It is
way
anti-national talk. I am sending it to the center. Just this bit. Oh,
Okay.
Amit, come on. What the hell does that mean? It's the same lot.
It
Okay,
is.
there's some local heroes and all
seen
that.
both the
but it's still made
museums?
by... I've seen both the museums.
And you like both of them.
I couldn't stand either. I don't get it.
A wax
I've never...
museum is
Or
the
maybe
single
that I'm
dumbest
biased
thing
about the
that
In the
London one.
21st century, how can I look at some statue
No,
and...
Maybe I'm biased about the London
Unless
one
I'm a
then.
crow, I don't understand what the whole...
I think a wax museum is the single biggest waste of time any person
I
can
know.
ever undertake
I know.
in their life.
And you notice in London also, they all look like us, the ones who are watching. You don't have anybody else. Maybe a few Chinese and Korean and that's it. We're the only people.
You're saying Asians?
Yeah, Asians. We just
Yeah.
go and look at this thing like it's wow, statue, famous person. Okay, great. That famous person you can actually see in real life. You just walk on Connaught Place.
If they
or
come to
Juhu.
you and ask you that you'll be waxed, what do
I
you
want
say?
to know why it's almost racist or anti-national or in some way. I don't know. That in India you find the same collection of statues made by the same people different from the London. It's like I don't understand that. Can you
Oh,
explain?
really? I asked a question to you.
What is the question?
Would you like to be waxed?
No, I have to sit still. You think I can do that? First you put the AC off and... what are you doing to me? I'm sweating like a madman.
You don't sit still.
First you sit still and they take a picture, or they prefer to have you actually sit or pose in the pose.
Oh, really?
In the old days, they would actually pose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Hitler actually posed, but he had to do it in Berlin. Because they were at war at the
You're
time.
just making shit
I'm
up.
absolutely lying. I mean,
Hard to believe
by
it.
now, in our country, all you have to do is keep a straight face.
That
You
is
know
true.
that. People are doing that all over.
So you can do it.
Yeah, I'm trying. All right. Speaking of straight face, you don't like the faces that you saw at Madame Tussauds Delhi. We'll leave it there and move on. What's next? Jaanam will speak now. Silence, children.
Apple removes gambling apps in China.
25,000 apps have been
There are
removed.
25,000 gambling apps?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yuck. Just because the law says you don't gamble means nothing to any culture. Gambling will continue.
Yeah.
And isn't gambling a Chinese word? Gambling.
Really?
Don't
I
send
mean,
us
Cyrus,
letters.
I mean-
And don't send us letters in Mandarin. Okay? Because I'm a big China supporter. There's lots I love about China. Huh.
Wow, okay.
So now we go to our tech expert and I take a break
I
because I'm
have
sweating.
nothing to say about that. I mean, like, there are 25,000 gambling apps. I mean, like, I didn't know that there were that many gambling apps in
No,
the iPhone.
actually, I'm just looking at the report, and they say that 25,000 figure comes from state broadcast to CCTV, and 4,000 of these apps were tagged with the word gambling, according to
Interesting.
Bloomberg.
You know, if you didn't correct it, it would have sounded better. Let's stay with the 25,000. It just sounds immensely
no,
huge.
but that's not correct, factually.
But have we said anything correct? You said Madame Tussauds Delhi looks
That's
terrible
that's
and
my
London
opinion.
is fine.
I have a
but
right
it makes
to
no
it.
sense.
No, that's my opinion. You cannot say that.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, it's like taking the same person, John Smith from London, putting him in Delhi, and you're saying now he looks bad. He's the same guy. 8 hours ago he was in London. It's like that. Anyway, going back to your point, which is I think
no
idea.
I have no point here other than apps are.
But who the hell are Apple? Are they bigger than bloody China to sit
Apple
and
is
do
bigger
this?
than India. You know that there's a
That
controversy.
maybe.
You know about the DLG list, right?
Who will Apple support in 2019?
But they're saying that these apps
Probably-
are trying to distribute illegal gambling apps on Apple's
So
store.
there are a lot of apps that are that do a lot of that have gambling type functions, right? So there is daily fantasy sports apps.
So
There
we
are
just got a
these-
link towards a sort of betting sort of thing and you call it gambling.
Yeah, and then there are also these apps which they give you these daily prizes for doing like really, really simple quizzes, which are essentially lucky draws. So there are a lot of these kinds of apps, and I'm guessing that that's what they want to kind of crack down
So
on.
Apple
So
is
how
trying
do
to
they scan which one is
See, I know there was one
legal, which one is
There was
illegal?
one game all of China was playing, which is I can't in Mandarin is Wan, but basically what it said was that if you fail at that app, then they take away your child. But they stopped that about 10 years ago, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's now moved on.
Okay.
Paying no attention to me, Swati and Jaanam, please. Carry
Is
on.
it like a sanitation kind of a drive? I mean,
Well, no. So I mean,
what
like
is
Apple
it?
cleans up stuff every so often, right? Like look at our Indian Apple podcast store, right?
But they always had loggerheads with China in any case, aren't
They're
they?
always, but that's so the thing is that China is a big market for Apple, but at the same time, China is a very restricted
I
market.
think the word
That's
big
what you
market
can
in
do.
China goes together for anything, right? Just because
Yeah,
there's
this-
25
No, but I mean,
billion
like,
people.
it's the second biggest
Humongous.
place for selling iPhones after the US. So I mean, like,
And they can overtake the US. They have the numbers.
nah, unlikely.
Why?
Because
You're such a US lover. You already have a
it's,
visa.
no. What's happened
Such a
is
US lover.
what's happened is that in China, so people buy iOS typically because they like the Apple operating system more than they like the Android operating system. In China, essentially the operating system. Oh wow, this is technical. In China, the operating system has been abstracted. The operating system for China is essentially WeChat today. WeChat is like a WhatsApp type kind of this. So everybody does all of their stuff through WeChat.
Okay, we break up this dry answer with a song. In China, we do it with chili. The chili was hot, but God knows for what. In India, we do it with mirchi. There was a man from Kent who was very bent. But Jaanam, you take it from here.
Yeah, let's move on from this so that I don't bore people.
My God, did you hear him? I was about to visit China. I'm never going there. I'm never going there just because of his lecture.
You've never been to China?
I've been close to China.
Which part?
I've been to Uttarakhand and I've been 20.
You started this conversation by saying you love China.
I love China. There's lots I love about China.
Why and how?
I like the wall. I wanted a wall. Have you met my neighbors? I want my own wall. And it's not nothing to do with Trump and his Mexican problem. But I would love the idea of a wall.
The Great Wall of China.
Where?
Would you like a wall?
Yes, I would.
Walls are great. Why are we against walls? Put your wall up. You don't have to see people. When you come from India or China, you understand that seeing people is a headache. Because we can never not see people. Or even if we are alone masturbating, we're seeing people. Because they're all over the place. There's no hope for us. But then when you're in Auckland, you understand what a wonderful world it is to see people. So they don't need walls. Because every 400 kilometers, there's one leg. It's like that.
One leg?
Yeah, one leg. It's like that. The paucity of human beings. There's sheep. 40 million sheep and 4 million people. I don't want to know what they get up to after 12, but, that's there. Now, here I'm saying we need a wall because we're just too overpopulated. Sometimes you need privacy. We have no privacy. I can't scratch myself anymore.
Yeah, that's
a big
right,
problem. We have
actually,
privacy.
yeah.
We also have so many unannounced guests, man. This has been like an issue for me in the last
We don't
couple
shut
of
doors,
weeks.
Amit Toshi. We don't shut doors. Our doors remain open. The vendors walk in. The Dhobi walks in. Auntie guy. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't walk in. I didn't call you in.
That's called culture and relationship.
Open door
ring
policy
the bell,
sucks.
man.
No
Ring
one
the
bloody
bell.
New York will you leave a door open. They'll shoot you and kill you and take your children.
So I've had this issue in
Which
the
is
last
okay.
couple of weeks where, just randomly relatives, family, friends, whatever, just go, I'm downstairs, I'm coming up. This happened like
Don't
4
come.
times.
I'm downstairs is a terrible line. They trap you leg before wicket.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
What
I'm
am I gonna
downstairs.
say?
I'll come up, no? No.
I don't
Don't
want
come
to.
up.
So at this point, they don't even know whether you're at home or not.
Oh, they know.
Nothing.
They
don't-
know.
Yeah, I'm
They
sure
are
they figured-
stalkers.
Yeah, I'm sure they figured
They
it
know.
out, right?
They've seen him in the window. They've checked. They've called. They've messaged. They know his habits. They stalk you like a predator stalks a poor deer in the water.
They're raw and ISI.
This open door policy. You're right. Don't
Hey,
start me off on that.
drives me
Do a whole show on
insane,
that.
right?
Why can't we get some privacy? Why do our vendors, forget the vendors, why are the vendors walking in? Why does he come with 2 orange juices? What the hell? He just walks into the hall because the door's open. I'm like, you can't walk into 2 orange juices are not Aadhaar card. You can't just
But why do you
show
keep
that.
the door open?
Because we Indians leave doors open. A lot of us, Abbas is nodding. All of us who have big houses and big families, nobody wants to open the door again. Swati, I don't know what it's like in Lucknow, but in Mumbai, nobody wants to open the door again. So we have 12 people living in a house which is minimum, then nobody wants to move. So everybody walks in and walks out. We don't know who the people are. I know people who don't know who the relatives are. They are not sure. They just say, ha, ji, kaise ho, Bunty kaise ho, Bunty theek hai. Bas, that's it. Nobody knows who Bunty is. And they just talk. It has to end somewhere. And Madame Tussauds Delhi is where I want to draw the line. That's one beautiful place where we can be free and have some privacy. At least as a statue, I can play with myself and no one can watch me. Or if they do watch me, they can't take action.
No, you cannot stand behind the statue because someone is going to come and look.
I mean, I'm sure there are cameras
What
there.
kind of pervert goes behind the statue after paying good money to enter the damn Madame Tussauds?
I've seen people
Really?
doing that.
I want to see his behind.
I've seen it.
Swati's crazy. Where do you hide these women from? We're going to get a lot of sexist badgering now. I can't take it anymore. Jaanam is so disconnected from our world. It's like she spits on me in
You
public.
just declared me crazy. That's not right, by the way.
You've got these strong views and then you want to support the bloody London Madame Tussauds over Delhi. But, we've got like disaster and Kerala going on one side.
Oh, it's my...
Just to put a perspective on it to make it look bad. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, what do we have next?
Jaanam can't breathe.
Next is actually very... I think it's inappropriate for this, but Weinstein accuser Asia
I heard
Argento
about that.
has
Yeah.
sexually
Actually,
assaulted a 17-year-old.
She's an accused herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's true, then I think the wheel has come full circle. And as a man who's been exploited, I would like to talk about women who have abused me. Yes. Wherever
Okay.
you are,
Okay.
Kiranji.
Kiranji.
Well, not the actress, but
Okay.
another Kiran. I have been abused. I felt women touch my elbow sometimes in
Kiran.
class, and I've never complained about it. I let it go. I've been in a traffic jam or in a line, and I felt people touching me from behind or in front. I have never complained. There are lots of stories about men who have suffered like this, and we have never complained. And today, Aisha, whatever her name is, Argento. That's what, a continent and a country together? Who names their kid that? Asia, Argentina. What the hell? It was like, how bored were they?
Her parents must have loved Asia. And
what are the other kids' names? And there's Somalia, Sudan, and we've got... yeah, come on, I mean, there's no end to this.
I think they were doing it on the map.
What? You perverted. Doing it? Have we lowered our journalistic standards to this? I have won the Magsaye Award twice in my dreams. Nonsense.
Wild imagination.
I say, I'm not the only moron in the bunch anymore. We really should be off air. We should be banned. We should be on another planet, I think, where no one knows our name.
Okay.
No, but like you said, that if this story is true, because I also had doubts about this when I read this story, and I thought that is it a
You're saying there are no female predators?
I'm not saying that, but then
now that's sexist.
I'm not saying that, but my point is that this entire movement has been so strong, it has been widely supported. So possibly there's a section of.
Of course, there's the other side to it. But I think there are far more male predators. I think that's clear. That if you look at it from a balance point of view, it's like 85-15 or less. But there are female predators. And not all of them are female-ish. So you got to understand.
No, but you have to take this story with a pinch of salt.
How do you know?
Think.
Hey, that's... How can you say that? How can you say that?
While I generally am... I don't think that is a fair thing to say.
Why?
If you're going to say that, then you have to say that about everything.
Exactly. You're just making a judgment call here. Where's the law, lady? Where's the law? The due process. You find out what happened. He's accused, just like in many cases, there's been accusations against Harvey and gang.
I wouldn't say pinch of salt. I would say more information to come. Pinch of salt kind of implies the idea that because I hear
and
this
pinching is sexual, so don't use that word.
Yeah. She's one of the most strong voices of this Me Too
movement. But this is not something that's... One second, but Swati, this is not new, right? This is not
Kevin
new.
Spacey was a defining actor of his generation. Hello. Dustin Hoffman.
I see this as a targeted story.
This event is like this event happened 10-15 years ago. It's not something that just happened.
No, but it is widely supported by social media and the way it has proliferated.
Listen, if you're talking about how the messaging is going out and how the information is being passed, that's a different issue.
The movement is very old, that's true. But
that's a different conversation. But this issue that's come up, the settlement that she did happened in 2005 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that is...
So the map of Asia has changed after that.
It's not so that's not the same time. And
the same map they were doing
I would say that, take it with...
Jaanam's
I would say that you have to know more about it before you make a judgment on it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wouldn't use the words pinch of salt, because when you use those words pinch of salt, you're legitimizing people who use those words.
And you're making very sexual comments, and I don't
like that. I don't think that we should do that.
Which sexual comment did I make?
I told you, the word pinch is sexual. Salt also in two cultures I know of it's got double meaning to it. So don't say mirchi, because then there's more to that. So don't just drop it. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope you've learned your lesson, young lady. It's a man's world, and we've decided.
Yeah, and clearly it is, because we are the only people who have been talking about it. Neither of these two are saying anything about it.
Jaanam goes into coma. I've never met an anchor goes into coma. She starts and just dies. It's like that. And today, hard-hitting conversation with journalist Amit Doshi.
No, but what do you think? What do you think about it? I mean, like,
we'll have to revive her first,
or do we want to just move on?
No, I think like there are. If this story has come out and like Swati said, she's been one of the strongest voices in this movement.
Prejudiced.
I feel like there are two sides to every story, and until the full story comes out, until we know the entire truth, we can't really comment on it.
I agree with that. I agree with that, but I just feel like, saying that take it with a pinch of salt is a little...
This.
No, Swati, you're saying that she's not guilty. You're very clear.
I'm not saying she's not guilty.
You can't have it both ways. Decide guilty or not guilty.
We don't know what there is, but what we do know is that she made a $300,000 plus settlement payment in 2005. This is
why did she do that? A, and secondly, her name is Asia Argentino. It makes no sense. She's hiding her past. Her real name is some Judy Smith, and she's gone and come up with this Asia Argentino. That's not even like a dancer's name. I don't know anybody with that kind of name. And I've been to every dance hall in New York.
Any kind of Me Too situation where a guy has or a man has made any kind of payment, the assumption is guilty, is it not?
Or partly guilty.
Is it not?
Yeah, some sort of
Bill O'Reilly, Louis C.K., whoever they are.
Yeah.
If there is any kind of assumption, if there's any kind of issue that's come up and a man has made a settlement payment, the assumption is guilty.
You're
right?
saying that we're ready to believe that?
But I believe it in
but you're
every
taking
case.
the other side. You're just saying that she's
every
innocent
case.
and it's a made-up story.
See, I
On
don't
what
think
basis?
very highly of I don't think very highly of men generally, right? So I believe it 100%, right? If somebody has made a payment, I believe that they have done something that deserves that payment to be made.
The show is being
I
too
don't
heavy.
think that they are making this without that, right? But to say that in this case, I want to reserve judgment and I want to take it with a grain of salt, where I'm not doing it over
grain,
there.
pinch. Grain was a more beautiful word. I would have liked grain.
But I don't know. I think it's a little thorny.
Okay.
That's thorny with a T, so don't come back. Now, very quickly, little interject some humor. Let's sing something sweet.
Okay.
And something non-sexual and non-dirty, and something which women and men will all enjoy from a past, a world which was clean, the 70s. There was a man from Vienna who had a hairy banana. One day, while playing his hands at the zip, and out came his hairy. I'm sorry. I don't know why we sang that. I apologize, and never ever sing that in public again. I forbid you. Okay, AMA time. Ding!
So it's going to be a great week on IVM this week. We have a brand new podcast launching, Wordy Woodpecker with Rachel Lopez. Every Tuesday, Rachel is going to break down fascinating words and why they mean what they mean. The show releases on the 21st of August. Be sure to check it out. And we have another new show launching as well, Know Your Kanun, hosted by lawyer Amber Rana, where he addresses all law-related questions and gives us insights into the legal system of India. On Cyrus Says this week, Cyrus chats with actor Kubra Seth about the experience of making Sacred Games, life post the show, and her body of work. On Colabra Cartel, we have Jeremy Buck and Sandeep Hathiramani, the experts behind the bar at Miss T. They talk about the innovative cocktails they put on that menu. On the Vishal Gondal Show, Vishal speaks to Milind Devra about his interest in music, his vision for the country, and a hell of a lot more. Coach Urmi talks to actor and model Sarah Jane Dias about her fitness inspiration on the Kinetic Living podcast this week. And don't miss out on the final episode of Marbles Lost and Found for this first season, Therapy 101, hosted by Zan and Avanti. Also, guys, we're looking for a new producer, a social media intern, and a graphic designer. If you are interested in working with IVM and it's a cool bunch of people to work with, please send us an email to jobs@indusvox.com. Also, please make sure you're following us on social media if you're not. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
All right, AMA time. These kids don't listen to me. They just go on talking behind my back, and it's all this unpleasant stuff like Aisha Argento, which is Gujarati for elections in 2019, will be announced soon.
Avicha.
And moving on to Jaanam.
I got the question. Hello, Team IVM. This is from Nikhil Bansod.
What? What's his name?
Nikhil Bansod.
What? Just say it slowly.
Bansod.
No. I want to hear the word.
Bansod.
Oh my God. Janam, you tried?
I think it's Bansod.
Oh, you dare you! How dare you! You dare talk to me! You dare it! Don't dare it! Swati, now Hindi is your strong point.
It's Nikhil Bansod. Yeah.
Bansod. Okay.
What if his middle name was Terry? Okay, sorry, Nikhil. We're just kidding. He must have got that all his life anyway.
He would be afraid.
All right. Nikhil, so it's been over a year since I've been listening to a lot of your shows. Makes my time at work tolerable. Thank you for wonderful shows and hope you guys keep up the good work.
He's never listening again.
No, he isn't. But what he is, okay.
He's going to ask me
who's this question for me?
Amit, he's going to ask me who's the Bansod now.
No, but what he's asked for is even funnier.
Yeah.
I'd really like to listen to a conversation between Amit and Cyrus in Hindi.
ठीक है तो मैं बात करता हिंदी में
हिंदी में कितनी बात करें
मैं तो काउंट कर सकता हूँ 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14
मैं 15
फिर मैं रिपीट करता हूँ
मैं 15 कर सकता हूँ
वाह क्या बात है हाँ तो what comes after solar system 17 system yeah, you know that you know your science you know your maths you're great yeah so you got to hear this you want to hear I keep saying I do the whole stand up on this actually which nobody listens to and which is my mother my Hindi is not it's beautiful. It's Urdu. I speak Chase Urdu next to my mother. So phone rings in my house. My mother actually till today answers things like this. Piche phone karo. What is piche phone karo? I don't know.
Baad mein phone karo.
But she says piche phone karo. So people speak Chase Hindi are really thrown because you know what the hell are you trying to say? Is a metaphor? What are you trying to insinuate? Then yesterday or day before was it? She called up the washing and my daughter told me the story because she was laughing and her Hindi is also South Mumbai Hindi. It's not like she speaks well, but she was laughing. I was like, "What happened, Maya?" She said, "Grandma called up the washing machine man and said, कुछ problem है washing machine में." The first line, okay, चलो, possible. हाँ, ma'am, क्या है? सुनो ना, never देखिए. सुनो, भाई प्रॉब्लम क्या है? पानी भरा, वाटर वॉशिंग मशीन में पानी भरा. So that guy is saying, problem kya hai? The whole concept of the washing machine is to fill it with water. But she was trying to say it's overflowing with water, you know. Okay. But she couldn't say anything. She said, pani bhara. So she said, ठीक है मैम, वही concept है. Washing machine concept वही है. पानी भर जाता है उसमें. And it's all on speakerphone. So Maya was on the floor. She couldn't even help her. She was holding her stomach. And my one maid in the background listening. And they all, thinking, this is the rich one in the family. So God, I tell anyone who makes fun of my Hindi, you come to my house, spend 5 minutes. Yeah. I'm Premchand. I call myself Premchand at home.
I would. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is from Karan Malhotra. This is Karan from Minneapolis. Love your show. Makes my day better. Question is, do you think Imran Khan being the new Prime Minister of Pakistan, there is scope for better relationships between India and Pakistan?
See, these are very tough questions to answer. Because on the face of it, as a huge fan of cricket and all, you expect all this, and liberal and, been around the world and knows cultures and has relations with a lot of people and is loved in India by so many people.
Yeah.
But having said that, how much control does he have? What can you do? Can you do anything about Kashmir? If you're a Pakistani politician, what can you do about Kashmir? Can you just say, chalo, theek hai, India's got a better idea? Are you honestly, be intelligent. What are you going to do? So the funny thing about politics is there's only so much you can do. 19 se 20. That's the best you can do. That's all you can hope for. And I frankly think as long as we don't go worse than we are now, I think that's the way you should look at it. As long as it doesn't get worse and goes into a real war-like situation. I don't see anything great happening.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, there are so many different stakeholders in this from both India and Pakistan side. Yeah. None of them are going to be cooperative.
Yeah, if we don't sound hawkish, then we are anti-national.
Exactly.
There, if he doesn't attack Kashmir, he'll be thrown out.
Exactly.
At the very least, and worse.
Yeah, no, so exactly. There's so many of these issues that are not easily tractable. So it's not. There's no simple solution.
I mean, your solution of calling the British back to both countries for 5 years and paying attention this time to governance, that could be tried. What do you think?
That's not my solution.
You said that. You pro-British brav. You keep calling me brav. I didn't know till my son corrected me that brav is bro. I'm like, it's a mistake in the thing. Then I heard it. I'm like, why are they saying brav? I mean, guys, do you know about brav?
No, I know about bro. Bra.
No. I'm not working with you ever again. You're dangerous. You realize that we are the cleanest? We two are the cleanest. Where did that come from?
BRUH.
What's that?
Bro.
It's BRAV.
BRAV.
The Brit bro is brav.
Everything is bro.
You don't watch any Brit sitcoms. I hate you.
I do actually. I've seen a few.
So what's wrong with you? So there's this whole brav concept. I'm learning. Because I have children, I'm learning. Amit, you should know this.
I don't watch British sitcoms either.
What the hell's wrong with you? Swati, do you know bro is brav? Abbas, do you know bro is brav?
Okay, I knew that. I knew bro is bro. I mean, I read Trainspotting.
Who thought it was bra?
Huh?
Why would they call each other bra? What's with the bra thing? Are you also pro Delhi Madame Tussauds or anti?
I haven't been there. Can't comment.
Okay, bra. Enough for us. Last question, bra.
Pranav Sisodia.
Okay, bra.
Pranav Sisodia asks, how do you deal with an overly flatulent co-passenger?
Oh, that's one of the nightmares. That and a kid crying in the early morning flights. I mean, what do you do with all this?
We had an episode on that.
Yeah, but the thing is with flatulences, nobody owns up.
Yeah.
But sometimes in the process of elimination, everybody knows who it is. Right? And it's the person who doesn't start putting your hand in front of the nose.
Yeah.
Immediately, you have one guy going to that, one guy going to that. This one guy's not reacting too much. Looking a little nervous. Yeah. But why do people do that? I mean, unless you're really sick and you can't handle it, why can't you just control yourself? It's a public place. Why do people have to break wind?
Well,
it's highly unpleasant for me.
It is unpleasant.
Yeah. You know what I hate about wind breaking is the one which has a lot of sound because the smell is to follow. So it's like they've shot the bullet and it's still to hit you. So it'll be like, and then coming soon, and then, oh, God, and you're trapped in a plane. There's nowhere to go, and it's business class. Yeah. Think about it. Economy is smelling beautiful. And here we are 8 people, and they all got digestive disorders. So think about what you buy when you fly. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, brah, let's end it here, brah.
Yes.
Brah,
yes.
That's not Punjabi surname anymore. That's just our thing, right? That's what we call each other. Not bro, not brav, it's bra.
That's Barar, I think you're saying.
Yeah, but
Punjabi
the
surname.
French Punjabi go bra. They take out the last letter. World is unique.
Yes, it is.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you. We need you. If you have any questions, write to us online and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called May.
And that's what Cyrus says.
How aware do you think you are of your laws and rights? Do you look up to laws when you are caught up in situations? Do you know what your rights are when you're stuck somewhere bad? Well, here's a show that can help you move an inch closer to being aware of what your rights are. Tune into Know Your Qanoon with me, Amar Rana. This is a podcast meant to answer all your law-related queries. Catch Know Your Qanoon every week on the IVM website or the app or anywhere you get your podcast from.
Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta. I'm B50 on Twitter. I am the host of Paisa Paisa, the show that talks money. On my show, I speak to experts from every field of money and finance. From stock markets, equities, debt funds, credit cards, life insurance, every possible area of money and finance that you can think of. We even did an episode on cryptocurrency. I've got fantastic guests from mutual funds to personal finance experts everywhere. Robo-advisory, startups, just name it, we've got it. At Paisa Paisa, we help you make smart decisions about money. You work hard for money. Now make your money work hard for you. New episodes out every Monday, and you can listen to my show on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you have.